Welcome back to the Jesse Rucinski show. Sorry you missed everything. Yeah, everything from last week, minus the Wednesdays with Walter. I was just reading so much stuff to get ready for that. I put all my efforts into that one. So if you didn't listen, check it out because we did talk about some, good stuff. And there's another one coming tomorrow. It's just I was so enthralled in that and didn't want to miss anything to be ill prepared for that one. So I chose to follow my sword and take the week off from doing regular shows. But I'm back now, and it's been a very interesting couple of weeks since I did a regular one of these talking about things. A lot of bills have come out, all sorts of stuff, and I get called crazy for reading them. I don't know exactly where all of our money's going. Call me crazy, when we're already this far down. Let's see where we're spending tens of billions of dollars. That makes me crazy, and that makes me crazy. I don't know why everyone has to turn everything into a fight. I'm not trying to fight. Like when I ask someone, I tell someone, man, my arm hurts. VA gave me a shot today. God, it sucks. And with COVID, it's like, no, they gave me a tetanus shot because I was doing, no, but you'll take every other shot out there. That makes sense. Like, they gave me a tetanus shot. And the last shots I got before that were my blood thinner shots after I got ran over. My last shots before that was on active duty. So actually, no, but you can continue to keep, while I'm being completely calm with you as a friend, you can keep attacking all of us just like that for no reason, then tell us that we're the confrontational people. They do everything else, really. So you've been looking at my medical record, it goes in me. Why? It wasn't for the blood thinners when there was a very, very violently high shot or chance, let's say, of clots, because, this was all broken into pieces, 8 screws, some steel plates, everything, of clotting happening while I was stuck in a wheelchair, not able to move a lot. Yeah, sorry, I had to take those. My bad. Why does it always have to go from a calm conversation with people that say we're psychopaths to them screaming at us? It's not my fault. You assumed you were just doing it to try to poke fun or start a fight. Like, why can't things just stay calm? Why do you always have to bring it up to that? I'm confrontational when people confront me being idiots out of nowhere. I'm actually very mellow rest of the time. Anyway, that just happened right before this. I don't know why. Like, it was going so well for weeks between me and Drew. And then boom, like over just nothing. I thanked him for it. Make sure you thank them every time for taking a perfectly normal conversation and turning it into that every single time. Thank them. This is small force. Stay the bigger person. But again, like I said, back on topic, spend lots of money, lots of bills have come out, whether it was the one for, trying to help the gas prices, which I heard you say that they're contemplating, releasing diesel from the strategic diesel, reserve that we have, even though, the oil reserve's already down to what lowest it's been 35 years, 45 years, whatever the number was. Yeah, let's go and deplete all of our diesel reserves too. It makes a lot of sense. That's going to help. And it's done nothing because prices are right back through the roof. And we did hear him say some specific words, but I'm getting into those tomorrow with Walter about, that great transition that we're making, which pretty much says we're trying to get, it's a great transition. Hopefully when it's all done, we'll be less reliant on. Yeah. So it's a transition. I mean, they wrote down specifically that it's on purpose, but that's another one. There was 2 for baby formula, to help people get that. And there's a lot of idiocy involved in that. That one, definitely. That one's going to be tomorrow. So don't worry, pay attention tomorrow. I know we go longer on it, but I'm sure you vacuum, shower, work out, drive in the car. Like you could listen to it, watch it, whatever, do dishes, cook dinner. Like there's times you could listen to and break it up even, but listen to them all Wednesdays, Walter, because they're good stuff. But today I'm hitting the 40 billion that we gave to Ukraine, an extra aid and all kinds of things, because the situation over there, I'm not anything bad. Innocent people should be taken care of in these situations. They didn't do anything to get themselves in there. They just happen to be coffin fodder. Really, that's all they are to the world leaders. No, I want nothing bad. I don't want anything bad to happen to any innocent people, no matter where the hell they are. I think anyone, no matter what side you're on, should be able to agree that we don't want innocent men, women, and children, especially the last 2, dying unmercifully. No matter who's doing it, it's wrong. Or what side of political world you're on, we should agree that the innocent people, they don't deserve that. But it's amazing how we have $40 billion for that. And look at all the stuff that they've been arguing that we can't spend money on anything. They always have money to fix stuff in other countries. Like we can't fix our own problems, but we could fix, we have money for this right away. Like they couldn't even delay it, like voting an extra day to add that there's going to be an IG to look over everything. Like Chuck Schumer threw a fit because we have to get it immediately, even though they could have sent it back, wrote that one clause in there, one amendment, voted on it in the House right there, sent it straight up, and it still would have been to the president's desk in time, and it was supposed to. Actually, a day early. They said no because they didn't have the time and all that. Like they have like at gender studies, like we saw during COVID, like all kinds of stuff, all this aid. They always have the aid to help everyone else. But yet, look at the monies that we have. Look how long it took anything for infrastructure to get done across a lot of administration. So I'm not just picking on Biden. Granted, there's much, there are things that are more important with the way the world is, but infrastructure is a big one. But getting anything through, or anyone that's actually passing the bills to spend the money can actually decide to do what they used to and get along and act like adults. That'd be amazing if they could do that for anything here. It'd help out that mattered, not like, making daylight savings time, a forever thing. I'm so happy they did that in the midst of all of it. But, our homeless problems, our hungry problems, our overdose problems, the wall, veteran suicide, and getting good care. Like there's so many things that they could be spending $40 billion on. Yeah, here we are. And also look at the same people that, were, all over Elon Musk for making a $44 billion offer on Twitter. It's amazing how all those same people aren't on the federal government for $40 billion to Ukraine going, well, you could, remember, he could solve world hunger, but we could spend tens of billions all over the world on all kinds of stuff. Not a peep from them. It just depends on who you are, which is who they go after. But there was a lot of interesting stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that me and Walter read through it together when it came out the other day. And, there is some stuff in there that neither of us, can argue. There's some stuff in there that's sketchy that doesn't make any sense as to why we're the ones paying for the certain things. It's just to be expected and everything. No matter what it is, you're going to look at some stuff and go, why? No matter who you are, no matter what it is, everyone has, that moment at some point. But, there's some stuff in there that makes complete and utter sense. And we're not against it again, because we need, like, there's literally horrifically innocent civilians that had, no part in this, that played no card in it. This is just the hand they're dealt that we should be taking care of. No matter, the whole world should be going, rising, take care of the innocent people that are, affected by this, need to get out of there, food, whatever they need. Like all of us with hearts and brains can agree with that. And again, I even had some people on the Twitterverse, because I'm back on there, or on the other side, that we came to an agreement on. I thought I was like some crazy, like, no, what? There's just like, calm down, fella. I think all the innocent people should be taken care of. I just think that there's better ways to spend it all instead of some of the stuff that's in here. And we came to an actual agreement, which, believe it or not, if you read everything, calmer heads prevail. Like anyone on any side can agree. The person actually, when they say they want to have a discussion on something, actually wants to have a discussion on something, not just blow your damn head off. That's all they seem to want to do. But lots of good stuff in there, printed off. It's only 3 pages. If anyone needs it, physically, please reach out to me. It's the Additional Ukraine Supplemental Appropriations Act 2022. There's a title for it. It's just not, here on it, but I have it saved on my phone. So if anyone does actually want it, please let me know, and I can, reach out in the comments section on anywhere. Facebook Messenger. You can go on the Facebook page and write a post on you can comment on one of the videos or something. Find a YouTube. Find a way to get a hold of me. Rumble, you can do it too. Twitterverse, Facebook, you can get on any of those. And please, if you want to read it, I have no problem sending it to you, just so you can see what's actually in it. Someone says, why do you read it? Well, I don't know. I'd like to know exactly where all the money is going, especially during the current situation where we are financially. I'd really like to know where every dime is going. Everyone should. If you don't, I actually think you're crazier than the people that sit down and, read all these things. Like, you're actually nuts if you think we're crazy for it. Like, I'm sorry, you'd want to know where all your money was. If your bill suddenly jumps $20, you're looking to see why. If it's something that, like, that doesn't fluctuate, like, water use, electricity, whatever, those fluctuate. Like, the normal bill just suddenly spikes $20, you're going to look and see why. Well, it's pretty much the same thing. See where all the money is going. So now that I've lubricated my vocal cords, let's get on this. The additional Ukraine Supplemental Appropriations Act 2022 provides more than $40 billion in emergency funding to support the Ukrainian people and defend global democracy in the wake of Russia's unprovoked attack on Ukraine. Title 1, Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agencies. DOJ, that'd be the Department of Justice, just in case anyone then no. $67 million for DOJ General Administration to help cover the costs of seizing, retaining, and selling forfeited property, examples the yachts of Russian oligarchs, related to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Again, yeah, they get the money. I mean, they do need the people to take it, maintain it, get all the paperwork. Like, so that, needs money to happen regardless of who is doing it. Like, that stuff does take people and time and processing and storage and so much stuff. So I get that. Title II, Defense. Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative gets $6 billion to provide assistance, including training, equipment, weapons, logistics support, supplies and services, salaries and stipends, sustainment and intelligence support to the military and national security forces of Ukraine. There we go. Even though they said they're not trying to make it like so they're completely involved in applying weapons. I mean, you are training, you really are, but they do need it. So replenishment of U.S. stocks gets $9.05 billion to replenish U.S. stocks of equipment sent to Ukraine through drawdown authority. Well, you can see that. European Command Operations gets $3.9 billion for mission support, intelligence support, hardship pay for troops deployed to the region, and equipment, including a Patriot battery. The bill also increases the cap on assistance that could be provided to friendly foreign nations from $450 million to $950 million. There's one where we had a problem. I do, if I remember correctly. Why are we giving European, command operations, like, many countries and all of them are in Europe? Sorry, 3.9 billion. There's enough of them, especially as where we're given like intelligence and all kinds of support there. Why do we need to give the money to support their side of it? They're equipped. They're very capable of doing it all. So there was a problem that I believe we both had. If he listens to this or anything, I'm sure he doesn't, but he's got a pregnant old lady and twins already run around. He's busy, but pretty sure we both didn't like that. Defense Production Act gives $600 million to mitigate industrial based constraints for faster missile production and expand domestic capacity of strategic and critical minerals. Munitions and exportability funds get $500 million to procure critical munitions to increase the stocks of the DoD, and $50 million to develop program protection strategies for systems identified for possible future export. Got it. Oversight requires IG, it's an Inspector General, to report on activities to execute funds in the bill, and the DoD to report on measures taken to require enhanced end-use monitoring of equipment provided to Ukraine. And again, I don't know why people freak out because people want oversight. Like, if you gave people money, you'd want to know exactly where it was going, wouldn't you? Pretty sure the same people that said Elon Musk could solve world hunger. He said, "What? I'll sell stocks. What? Give me the exact plan. Let me know where every dime's going. I'll cure world hunger. You come up with an actual plan that makes actual sense, and I know every cent of my money's going. I'll do it." It's not my fault. No one can ever actually provide that to them. Heaven forbid we know where all the money's going, so it doesn't go anywhere weird. I don't even trust most IGs anymore. Pretty sure anyone with the brain shouldn't, but anyway. Title III, Energy and Water Development and Related Agencies. Nuclear Regulatory Commission gets $2 million for technical and regulatory support to Ukraine's nuclear regulatory agency, and only $2 million. It just seems like such a small number when it comes to things like nuclear and regulations and the importance of everything that's happening. But again, who am I? Title IV, Labor, Health and Human Services, Education and Related Agencies. Administration for Children and Families gets $900 million to provide refugee support services such as housing, English language classes, trauma and support services, community support, including school impact grants, and case management for arrivals and refugees from Ukraine. Obviously, again, I'm okay with it. Where they're being sent for, everyone should put money into that. Because again, it's not their damn fault. Like if it happened here, like it's not anyone else's fault. No one would come to save our asses if we were the ones in the hot seat. We all know that, but again, not their fault. So it is what it is. Even, we all have hearts. Even Walter, got that. And they have to house him and somewhere. And anyone that's ever been to like wars that were bombed, like anyone, even people that haven't been through that, they can get PTSD and all kinds of problems from car accidents and many other things. I'm just throwing that one out there as the quick one that's more common. So, having someone to sit there and talk to you and, help you work through it. I know a lot of people that didn't choose to talk and they aren't here. So, I'm okay with that one. You're not going to hear me ever bitch and moan about that. Ever. Especially Mental Health Awareness Month and Memorial Day's coming. You're never going to hear me. Leave it at that. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention gets $54 million to provide medical support, screening, and related public health activities for arrivals and refugees from Ukraine. Okay. Again, they're going to need medical support. They're going to need all of that. Makes sense. They're spending way more in other places. But in addition, the legislation allows for certain benefits to be offered to arrivals and refugees from Ukraine after undergoing background checks. Hopefully they're going through them better than all that Afghanistan nonsense. Title V, State, Foreign Operations, and Related Programs. Of the amounts included, more than $5 billion in total is included to address rapidly growing food insecurity globally and the impact of rising food prices because of the conflict in Ukraine. This includes humanitarian and developmental assistance is made available through both bilateral and multilateral channels. Yeah, sorry, my brain turned off. And the impact of rising food prices because of the conflict in Ukraine. You do realize that well before any of this happened, food prices were astronomically through the roof already. So now, do they produce a lot of wheat and all that? Yes, they do. Does that make a big problem? Yes, it does. But price of everything was already way, way, way over doubled in some instances of things. So, yeah. See, that's when I started having problems with things because you read stuff like that. Everyone that's in there buying anything for over a year now is going, right, I'm already screwed well before this happened. So try again. Nice try. Give you credit. I mean, does it have an, again, because of wheat and stuff? Yes, they are a very big proponent in the world of wheat thing. I don't believe it's wheat, and look how much wheat goes into like everything. But everything was way up before that. So trying to just throwing words in there is just that's just one of those things. It's just like why even do it? Because most people know, like they know the truth, are just going to look at it and get pissed off. Which is still the point, but those people do need to eat. So I think we should all, be able to agree on that. But and the impact of rising food prices because of the conflict in Ukraine, it was way up before that guy. So nice try to all of you. I do appreciate the effort. You failed though, for anyone that has a brain. But Department of State gets $13.926 billion. I'd like to break it down closer or anything, including $350 million for migration and refugee assistance, provide humanitarian support for refugee outflows from Ukraine. Get it? Even though I know, again, no one would help us, but $4 billion for the foreign military financing program to provide additional support for Ukraine and countries affected by the situation in Ukraine, including NATO, Eastern Flank countries, and other partners in the region to build and update their capabilities. Like I'm pretty sure they could help themselves on that one. Do they? Yeah, people need help in certain things. Yes, but like there's enough countries over there, and all this thing with NATO where they're all over, like, why do we always have to be the one to pay hand over fist for everything? Because we gave way more than anyone else did. $8.766 billion for the Economic Support Fund to respond to emergent needs in Ukraine, provide needed budget support to assist with Ukraine's continuity of government and counter human trafficking. Include $760 million to prevent and respond to global food insecurity. We have food insecurity around here and all kinds of insecurity. Just throwing it out there. $190 million for diplomatic programs for diplomatic support and planned return of Embassy Kyiv, as well as supporting the operations of other embassies in the region. $10 million for the Capital Investment Fund to support technology requirements related to the relocation and reopening of Kyiv Embassy. $110 million for embassy security, construction, and maintenance to make needed infrastructure and security repairs for Embassy Kyiv. $400 million for international narcotics control and law enforcement for Ukraine programming to support law enforcement and the rule of law, including the investigation and documentation of war crimes and human rights atrocities and programs to combat human trafficking. Again, who likes war crimes, who likes human trafficking? Those are things that I'm pretty sure we can all agree on, So I'm not really, too complain. I'm not going to complain a lot on that. I mean, a lot of money going, what, over 300 million just going to embassy stuff. But again, I get it. A lot of security and stuff that goes into all of that. I'm not complaining too much about that. $100 million for non-proliferation, anti-terrorism, demining, and related programs to protect against chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear incidents and expand demining programs. It's just amazing that 190 million goes for diplomatic programs for, diplomatic support and planned return to the embassies and stuff. And we only give $100 million to deal with non-proliferation, anti-terrorism, mining, and related programs to protect against chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear incidents. So the embassy, 190 for diplomatic programs, 10 million for capital investment fund for relocation, all that. 110 million for embassy security, construction, and maintenance. 100 million goes to non-proliferation, anti-terrorism, and related programs to protect against chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear incidents. Like that makes, doesn't that make all the sense in the world? Narcotics control and human trafficking, it's 400 million, 100 million for, to worry about non-proliferation and, possible CBRN attacks. If any of that makes any sense, you're out of your mind. That's coming from someone that's out of their mind. So, U.S. Agency for International Development, or the USAID, that's $4.365 billion, including $4.35 billion for international disaster assistance to provide emergency food assistance to people around the world suffering from hunger as a result from the conflict in Ukraine and other urgent humanitarian needs of populations and communities inside Ukraine. Again, a lot of people, I get it. 17 million for operating expenses to support operations that have had to move from Ukraine and possible return to Kyiv. Oversight, 5 million include Department of State Inspector General, 4 million to provide oversight of emergency funds and operations of the Department of State. Just amazing, you need 4 million to do that. USAID Inspector General gets 1 million to provide oversight of emergency funds and operations of the USAID. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. Multilateral assistance, $650 million, including $500 million to support the specialized facilities of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development to support Ukraine's economic and energy needs, and $150 million for the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program to help countries, including Ukraine, weather impacts from rising food prices. Thank God they didn't put because of Russia, because they were way up around the world until way before that started. But increased authorities. The legislation includes $11 billion in authority to draw down defense articles and services and increase flexibility to provide excess equipment and direct procurement to Ukraine and other regional allies. I still don't get why Europe's not putting more into it because there's so many of them there, but we always give the most, which is why Trump hated NATO and all that. And like, pay your fair share, we're gone. Because we shouldn't be, funding everything. But Title VI, general provisions. Bill Emerson Humanitarian Trust gets $20 million to reimburse the Bill Emerson Humanitarian Trust, which is a critical backstop when international famine needs exceed available normal funding for U.S. assistance. Pay if anything bad happened to us. Again, no one would care. But Department of Treasury gets $52 million for special agents and associated support to trace Russian financial activities, including digital asset tracing, attribution of concealed efforts, and identifying true beneficial ownership. In addition, resources would support efforts to identify and combat the exploitation of Ukraine's vulnerable financial system. Yeah, good luck with that. Late Representative Don Young provides for the gratuity payment for the beneficiary of the late Representative Don Young, who's a Republican out of Alaska, waiver language for certain intelligence programs And in addition, technical budgetary provisions are included. And, there's a lot in there. Again, you heard my reasoning behind a lot of it. A lot of it made sense. Innocent people, we should be doing stuff to help them. Food stuff, that should be like, everyone should care about that. So no one in the world's, hungry. But blame it on Russia. No, it was happening before that. The invasion. No, it's not helping now, but everything was up way before that. They just keep throwing it in there. And what happens? Like my big thing, like why are we giving so much money to Europe? Further, Central Command and all that stuff. It's just like they should, their own stuff. Like I guarantee, if something happened here, no one's going to come to our aid. We're actually kind of screwed if that were to happen. And why do we pay more than the rest of the world by many, many multiples? With everything we already have going on, everything that to do with inflation, like the more we keep spending, the more it's going to happen. Like, believe it or not, we print more, the value goes down even further, the dollar's worth less. We're farther into debt. We brought the deficit down yet, but our debt still went up. So we spent a little less, but the deficit is still up. Still. I think that's a real thing. Not making that up. And it's not going to help no matter what. And what do we get out of it? We're not, again, we'd be screwed if anything happened here. No one would care. Because no one ever does. We've seen it before. And we're going to have to do this again. And look how much money we've already put into in this amount of time. We're going to spend tens of billions again, and probably again, and probably again. Which isn't going to help any of our cities. Do they need certain things? Yes. We can keep, like, the equipment doesn't break down that fast. We can give them as many rounds as they want, whatever. Most people agree on that. What do we get for it? Because it's going to happen again. We all know it's going to happen again. They're going to keep doing that. We're all going to keep getting blamed for everything, regardless, because that's just all any of them know how to do. Blame an attack. They don't even know what's in the bill, telling me that I'm crazy because I want to know what's in it. And when I say there's some dumb stuff in there, because there is, like, why are we paying for some of this stuff? There's enough NATO countries and everyone around the world that could help that are right there. Allies and that have all the, like, it just doesn't, some of it doesn't make sense. But, again, humanitarian aid makes sense. But then why would we give so much to embassies for, relocation, rebuilding, and then only give 100 to try to combat, proliferation and CBRN attacks? Like, that seems like it's kind of an important thing, as we're talking about war crimes so much, but we're giving embassy rebuilding, 4 times, but 3 times over 3 times the amount of money. It's just astronomical. I'm sorry, you should be much, sorry. That's my check nuclear facilities and nuclear attacks and chemical attacks are way, that's way more on the list of things to do than rebuilding the Kyiv embassy right now. Call me crazy. Pretty sure if it really was as big of a problem as they said, they'd be putting as much money into that as they are to rebuilding an embassy, that we're nowhere near ready to be able to even start rebuilding. You can't argue that if you have a brain. You really, really can't. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not the nicest person in the world, I know, but none of that makes a lick of sense if it was actually that big of a deal as they make it out to be. But that's just my opinion. I know how much my opinion matters. It doesn't. Not telling me anything I don't know, but it's actually just asinine when you think about it. But I can keep rambling about it forever, but that's just mind-boggling stuff. They were so worried about it, but we're giving rebuilding the embassy, which is nowhere near being, like, the conflict's still happening, so we wouldn't start rebuilding. But they're getting that much money. I mean, you can say, oh, but it's coming down the line, but that money could be spent to be prepared for, like, possible nuclear chemical attacks and stuff. Yeah, but again, I digress. I'm sure they're going to come out with another one. We'll go over it then, but that I'm jumping off. I will be back tomorrow, Wednesdays with Walter, way too bright and early. And be a good one. We got some good stuff coming forward. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, no matter what you're on. I see the one app I was on is now Podvine. So if you listen on Podvine, or if you don't have it, want to listen there, be like, thank you for that. Good pods. I greatly appreciate you guys. I see the numbers going up. I get the emails, so I greatly appreciate that. Everything's, again, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Cloud Hub. Now I put the videos onto Write Only Just a Try, but I think I'm going to quit that soon. Go on Twitter. When I'm with someone else, they're on Facebook, like they're everywhere. Again, the audio, again, good pods. I appreciate all of you. I put it on Twitter and Facebook, obviously, but that's on Anchor, Breaker, Stitcher, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, Amazon Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. Like, it's on all kinds of things. So please listen there. Most importantly, just share it out on your socials. Go on to the Facebook page if you're listening to it, because they never tell most of you that I actually put anything on there, but find it and share it out to all your people to get it growing. Yeah, because that word of mouth is better than giving anyone that already has way more than enough money and giving those guys any more money for doing ads for me. But I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, so be ready for it. Be paying attention, but share this one out. Get everyone ready. And until tomorrow, my friends, be good to each other. Don't let anyone bite your head off. And if they do, stay calm and peace.